And welcome back. It is time to finish up our week 10 picks. We're 2 and 2 so far on the week, 2 and 0 on Tuesday, 0 and 2 on Wednesday, down just a little bit, but it's time to get it back and we start Friday night. We're going to start Friday night with Georgia State and UConn to kick us off. Georgia State's not only struggled this year, they're 1 and 6 against the spread this year. Meanwhile, UConn's 5 and 3 against the spread. While UConn defense has been solid, the offense has also played well. They're scoring 27 points a game, sitting 41st in the nation. They're also sitting 41st in the nation in rushing yards per game. Georgia State has struggled so far against the run this year. They're giving up over 200 yards per game on the ground. Further, their offense is not going to be able to keep up with a 98th ranked offensive production. Take UConn in this one. UConn minus 4.5 on the first half, minus 102 on DraftKings. Also on Friday night, we have San Diego State, Boise State. San Diego State's been keeping games close. They've covered in 4 straight games, covering in 4 of 7 overall. As they have covered, the defense has stepped up with the under hitting in 4 of 7 total games. Meanwhile, Boise State has covered in just 4 of 7 this year, while covering in 3 of the last 4. Still, they're just 1 and 3 when the spread is more than 20 points. While San Diego State's going to struggle with Ashton Jeanty, they have a strong enough defense to keep it close. San Diego State plus 23.5, minus 103 on ProfitX. We move to Ohio State and Penn State. This is the game of the week. Drew Lawler's a game time decision, but Bo Perlubula has looked good in his time. I like the uncertainty at quarterback for Penn State. It keeps Ohio State off guard. They're two different styles of quarterback. Further, I like the Penn State defense. They're top 10 unit overall. They should be able to get pressure in this one. Ohio State struggled in 2 areas. First of all, the run game. Penn State's very good against that. Second is the pass protection. Penn State's good there as well. James Franklin has struggled in this matchup, but I like him to get over the top here. I have this as a 49% chance to win, so we're going to take this bet. Penn State money line plus 145 bet Rivers. Move to Air Force and Army. Air Force has struggled heavily this year. Not only do they have just 1 win, they've yet to cover yet in a single game. They've missed covering by 10 or more points in 6 of the games this year. Meanwhile, Army 6-0-1 against the spread. Last time out, they technically pushed on the closing line against East Carolina. If you took it early, you got the win. Army's also covered by 16 or more points in 6 out of their last 8 games. Army's been dominant and will continue to be one. Army minus 21.5, minus 109 on Bet Rivers. And we're going to go for 2 here. Air Force, 96 in the nation in opponent points per game while sitting 93rd in total yards against. They're 103rd against the rush. Army scored 37 or more points per game in all but 1 game this year and 4 straight over 40. Army, team total over 30.5, minus 125 on ESPN. Moving to Northwestern and Purdue. There are 2 main factors heading in this game. First, both Northwestern and Purdue have struggled on offense, with both teams outside the top 120 in offensive production this year. Purdue has struggled much more on defense, though. Purdue gives up 20.5 points per game, more than Northwestern does. The second issue, turnovers. Northwestern's 47th in the nation in turnover margin. Purdue is 118th. While Northwestern's just 2 and 6 against the spread, Purdue's just as bad, 2 and 5 against the spread. We're going to take Northwestern in this one. Northwestern money line, minus 105 on DraftKings. Moving to Buffalo and Akron. I know Buffalo beat us last week, but Akron's not won 2 games in conference play since going 4 and 8 and 2 and 6 in conference in 2018. Akron's gone 3 and 5 against the spread this year. They have covered 2 of their last 3, though. Buffalo, 4 and 4 against the spread this year, 2 and 0 when favored this year. Buffalo offense has struggled, sitting 104th in the nation in points per game, 123rd down conversion. Akron's been worse, 125th in the nation in points per game, 124 in third down conversion. Buffalo, money line, minus 105 MGM. We're going to stay in the MAC, Toledo and Eastern Michigan. This game's going to come down to a few key factors. The first is red zone scoring. Toledo, 123rd in the nation there. Eastern Michigan, 75th. Second, converting third down. Toledo, 92nd in the nation. Eastern Michigan, sitting 66. On the defensive side, very similar. 45th for Toledo, 48th for Eastern Michigan. Finally, turnover battle. Eastern Michigan, 14th in the nation in giveaways per game, 36th in turnover margin. Toledo, 75th in the nation in giveaways, 99th in turnover margin. Eastern Michigan, plus 10, minus 110 on Hard Rock. Moving to Memphis and UTSA. Memphis passed the ball well this year. They're 39th in the nation in passing yards per game while sitting 13th in the nation in interception percentage and 23rd in sack percentage. UTSA struggled against the pass. They're 129th in the nation against the pass this year and 85th in interception percentage. Memphis 4-4 against the spread. UTSA just 2-6. Further, UTSA has failed to cover as an underdog this year, going 0-3, missing by an average of 19.33 points. One of the major issues for UTSA is turnovers. Memphis, 23rd in the nation in takeaways per game. If Memphis can get turnovers, they're going to win with ease. Memphis, -7, -105 on Caesars. Moving to Old Dominion and App State. Neither team comes in scoring strong. ODU, 68th in the nation. App State, just a little bit worse. They're only scoring 24.8 points per game. ODU's 26.1. App State defense does give up points. The under still in that game's hit in 4 of the last 5 App State games. Meanwhile, the under's hit in 2 of the last 3 ODU games. When the total's over 60, both teams are combined 3-0 in favor of the under. Give me under 60.5, -105 ESPN. Moving to Tulsa and UAB, neither offense has been great this year. Tulsa scored over 30 points just twice this year, both coming in wins against weak defenses. UAB scored over 30 just once this year. Still, while the offensive units are bad, the defensive units are worse. Tulsa's giving up a ton of points, over 40 in 3 of their last 4 games. UAB has given up 35 or more in 5 straight. I'm going to take the over in this one, over 57, -110 on DraftKings. We're moving to Indiana and Michigan State. We start with the fact that Michigan State just lost to Michigan. Michigan's not very good this year. The offense did not look great either. Still, this is a trap game for Indiana. The Hoosiers do not know if Rourke's going to be able to play. Michigan State 32nd in the nation against the pass this year. Still, Indiana's covered every single Big Ten game this year. Michigan State turned over the ball a ton. Give me Indiana -7.5, -106 on ProfitX. Moving to Oregon and Michigan. Michigan's just bad. Oregon's good. Oregon doesn't destroy teams over a full game, though. They do destroy teams early and crush their hopes and dreams. While Michigan struggled in defense, they're going to struggle in this one. Further, Michigan struggled to score heavily. Oregon's dominated teams in the first half. We're going to take Oregon -7.5 first half, +100 Bet Rivers. Moving to Georgia and Florida. Favorites in this series is dominated. Georgia's covered in 2 of the last 3. Further, they have an amazing defense, top 25 in the nation. They've been solid on third downs as well. Florida run defense is awful. All that's going to do is set up the pass for Georgia and Carson Beck throwing it over the top. Give me Georgia -14.5, -104 in DraftKings. And we're going to end with Pitt and SMU. Pitt's undefeated this year. They're 6th in the nation in offense. That should be enough right there. They're also 39th in the nation on defense. Yet, Brett Lashley's dominated Pat Narduzzi in their matchups when they have met. This Pitt team is different. There's too much value here. Give me Pitt +7.5, -110 on Hard Rock. We will do a quick recap here, but as always, if you like this content, make sure to share it, spread it with your friends. Definitely subscribe. We've got UConn -4.5 first half. San Diego State +23.5. Penn State money line. Army -21.5. Army team total over 30.5. Northwestern money line. Buffalo money line. Eastern Michigan +10. Memphis -7. ODU and App State under 68.5. Tulsa UAB over 57. Indiana minus 7.5. Oregon minus 7.5. First half. Georgia minus 14.5. And Pitt plus 7.5. We'll see you next time for our recap of our top 25.